Michael Sheridan here. Welcome to So You Think You're Awake, the show all about your dreams and their meanings. If you want your dream done, send it to radioshow@dream-analysis.com. If you want to come on air, phone the station on 425-373-5527. That's 425-373-5527. You can find all these details and more, including archives of previous shows, on my website at dream-analysis.com/kknw. I can't do the show without your dreams, so please do send them in. I need them. And as always, thanks to everyone who does and everyone who listens. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. In Irish, Gemani dia is mura is padre gwit. There is no formal hello in Irish, and the typical greeting is dia gwit, which is shortened from the original, which means, may God bless you. The response to someone saying hello to you is to say back exactly what they said, but to add a holy name. St. Patrick is the third in line. It goes God, Mary, and then Patrick. You most likely know that St. Patrick is the patron saint of Ireland, and March 17th is considered to be the day he died. What you may not have known is that he listened to the messages in his dreams. At age 14, he was captured in Wales, enslaved and brought to Ireland. 6 years later, he escaped after he had a dream that told him a ship was waiting for him to take him back to his country. He went on to become a Roman Catholic cleric, and years later had another dream in which the Irish were calling him back to walk among them again. We're told that St. Patrick chased the snakes out of Ireland. It is true that Ireland does not have any snakes, but likely never did, and the snakes he chased out are a different kind. Although earlier attempts to convert Ireland had been tried, it was still a pagan country. Tara was the seat of the High King and the Druids. St. Patrick drew great attention to himself shortly after arriving in Ireland by lighting a fire on the eve of Easter close to the hill of Tara. Easter is a pagan festival governed by the moon, and the ritual at the time was that all fires must be extinguished before the fire on Tara is lit. St. Patrick's stunt got him an audience with the king, where he was challenged to a contest of magic with the Druids. They conceded victory to him, and he was so impressed, the High King, that he was given permission to make converts throughout Ireland, and the rest is almost history. Druidic priests had tattoos of serpents on their forearms, so Druids are the snakes he banished. The contest of magic on the hill of Tara is very revealing, as it shows that St. Patrick had strong knowledge of pagan magic. Early Christians in Ireland didn't dispel paganism, but rather blended it with Christianity to make Christianity more appealing to the target audience. Pagan holy wells became Christian holy wells, churches were built on holy sites, and so on. It is said that St. Patrick, or an early Christian cleric, put a curse on Tara because he disliked the Druids' misuse of power so much. The curse can be traced to the Christian standing stone erected on Tara right over the inflow energy, thus blocking it. I bet you never knew there was any Christian standing stones, but there you go. In fact, you go around Ireland and in some places you'll see on ancient standing stones a cross seamlessly sculpted into the top of it. Anyway, let's have a look at some dreams. And the first dream I have is from a guy called Euro. You may hear me saying the same names over and over again. That's because I use the same names to keep people anonymous. So don't be thinking the same people over and over are signing them in, although sometimes they are. Anyway, he says, I was graduating from some school and going to my last class. Now, graduating from school is great. It's always good in a dream. Doing an exam in a dream is a similar type of a thing. And usually there's something we're not doing or something we're doing wrong that we feel we're going to fail the exam. But here in this case, it's good that he's graduating. The fact that he emphasizes it's the last class isn't good. And then he says, my last 45 minutes of school, and then I'm done. I am sneaking in behind some furniture to hide and to put on my graduation jacket so nobody can see me. Okay, so jackets in dreams or coats in dreams aren't good. They're a protective. We put them on to protect ourselves from the weather or the elements or whatever. And so anything that you use in a dream to protect yourself is not a good thing. And also hiding is not a good thing in a dream. It's your dream. You're everybody in the dream. You've created the whole thing, so you're hiding from some aspect of yourself. So that's also not good. And he's sneaking behind some furniture. So furniture is used to decorate a room. So it tells us the dream is about Euro learning about himself with a view to improving something about himself, improving his awareness. So that's the theme of the dream. And hiding behind furniture is something that's already gone on, or something you've picked up, or an influence you've picked up. You're still affected by this, and you're going to hide behind it. Anyway, you're saying in the dream, and that you're hiding behind it because you want to just show up in your jacket. There's something written on the back of your jacket related to your graduation, but you don't see what it is, and that's okay. Anything behind us in a dream is the past. So an emphasis with writing to something at our back would be, the fact that in this dream it's trying to say, don't be looking at the past, don't be trying to protect yourself from the past, and don't be concerned about what you're trying to protect yourself from. Now that's easier said than done. We all know things have happened to us in the past, and some things are very unpleasant, and certainly in your case that's true. But the dream says, look, spirituality is all about living in the present, drawing on the past and strengths in the past, but letting go of any issues that we have that are very negative to us. So this hiding and putting on the jacket and protecting yourself aren't good in this part, because you don't need to protect yourself in a dream. So don't go forward in life thinking, for instance, that I've escaped and gotten past the major issues I had with the last lesson. Let's use a terrible term. And I'm just going to be very careful that I don't fall into that again. It's the being very careful is already falling into a trap. So don't protect yourself. Just take life on the chin. Take it as it comes. And that's the best way to do it. Because when you take life that way, that's when the good things happen too. Anyway, how do we know what's really bad in your dream is you say some slogan related to my graduation. That's okay. After I put it on, I come out from behind some furniture in my big jacket, which is some kind of rain jacket with a hood. Okay, so protecting yourself from the rain is one of the worst things you can do in a dream, because the rain represents life and spirituality, and it's all about letting life in and letting yourself get wet with life symbolically. So it's a good thing in a dream, and you're putting on something that's protecting you from it. So you can't protect yourself from life. It's impossible. It's going to happen to you anyway, but you can certainly embrace it and live it up and enjoy it. And I know that's the way you already have changed to be, because you've sent in many dreams prior to this. And this is one of the things that we can trip ourselves up on, trying to be too careful. Another thing is, like, why do we even do our dreams? And I've covered this on shows before. View your dreams as the messages from your higher self, or messages from God or from a higher power, telling you what you need to do in your life, or what your life is about, and changes you need to make. Sometimes they're telling you, hey, you've already dealt with everything you need to in a particular situation, you need to move away from it, you don't need it anymore. Or if somebody has got you doing something that is not part of your job spec, so to speak, you can have a dream saying you need to let that go. It's not your responsibility. So they're never bad, even if, obviously, if they're telling you, hey, you've got a special ability and a quick way of doing something, that's obviously very good. But telling you, for instance, that you've been affected by your mother, or affected by your father, or affected by some negative thing that happened in your past, that's a good dream, because it's saying, look, this is what's holding you back. Deal with this issue, and your life will open up and happiness will return. And if you don't do it, then it's not going to happen. So the dreams are really telling you what you need to look at to improve your life and get your life back on track. And of course, we have to remember, this is why we came here. We pick issues in our life that mirror feelings and the way we are on the spirit plane. So things happen to us that cause us to get into a pickle, and getting out of that pickle is what's going to increase our awareness. Something that we can avoid easily on the spirit plane and never improve ourselves, or at least take a very long time to improve ourselves. We can do it here on the physical plane very quickly, because of the discomfort we have around issues. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. I have to try to explain why I'm always saying dreams are something negative. Almost always. Okay, so here's another dream from Amanda. And it's called $500 for Salmon. I really like this dream. It's very short. I like short dreams, and wraps up a lot of things in its short nature. I was in a grocery store buying salmon. There were two women ahead of me in the line. So we know, okay, grocery store. Stores have to do with needs, so something the dreamer needs to do. Now, I know she's already cutting the ties, and this dream is probably from before she started doing that process, or at least early on in it. So there's nothing new for her in this, but it's still a nice dream. Two women are ahead of me in the line. That says, Mom put herself in front of ahead of me. Even though there's two women, both represent your mother, but they represent her at the age, you at the age too. But this dreamer is also a channel, and from other dreams and this dream, I suppose, because of twos. Twos come up for channels a lot. They've got a presence in the spirit world and the physical world, and this comes up as two. Anyway, So mother put herself ahead of me, and this is affecting my digestive system, and that's what why it's a grocery store, it's about food. They both had long brown hair and were wearing cream-coloured shiny silk blouses. Well, that's nice in the dream. So the cream colour is an antidote to a mother that would be very critical and judgmental. Or you, even if you're very critical and judgmental and you picked it up from mom. So this would be saying you are showing that you're adopting a level of tolerance with regard to your mother. Because remember, life is a spiritual journey. Our parents actually step in to give us the dysfunctions we have so that we can grow through them and increase our awareness of who we are. So they're playing part of this game, charade, where we really get so caught up in life that we think this is everything that there is. But from the spiritual perspective, they're helping us achieve a very, very important goal on our journey back to awareness. So it's not about blaming our parents or pointing a finger back and saying, the problems I have today are because of you. It's you deal with the issues, you grow stronger because of them. And when you do, you never say to yourself, I've never met anybody who would ever say, I wish I wasn't as strong as I am now. They may say, okay, I would have liked different ways of getting here, but we still are always thankful that we got to the point we got to, because we know when we get to that stage how much more aware we are of ourselves and how much stronger we are within ourselves. So that's what life is about. It gets us to those points. And this lady has started the acceptance of the issues with mom. They're going to have a party, and we're talking about it with enthusiasm. So the party is about your birth, and any party in a dream is going to be about your birth. They had 2 large bags of salmon already wrapped and waiting for them on the counter. Now, this is the part that puzzled her, the salmon. But salmon is pink, and pink alone in a dream will tell you that you've got issues with your mom. You're going to be sick of me saying that at this stage. But it also says it's a spiritual dimension because the salmon is a fish. So it's saying dealing with these issues with your mom are going to help you improve your spiritual connection, and it's 2 large bags of salmon, so improve your channeling ability, make it larger. So it's really good. So, well, nothing else to say on that. They're already wrapped and waiting for them on the counter. So on the counter means this is something you're responsible for or you're accountable for. Or if you're wondering what you need to do next in life, there it is. I've put it on the table for you. That's what the dream has done. I was handed my small packet of salmon, which is wrapped in a crinkly kind of plastic. So the plastic says that you're affected by something that's man-made, because plastic is man-made. So your channeling and your spiritual viewpoint has been how do we say, affected is definitely correct, but so conventional ideals have obscured your ability to really get in touch with your spirituality. Okay, that's a good way of putting it. Religion would be a good example of that. The 2 party women were still waiting for other items, so I stepped ahead of them in line. Brilliant. That's really good in the dream. This shows you that cutting the ties or whatever therapy you're doing right now has helped you get past this thing that was holding you back. And what was holding you back, of course, the 2 women. And the reason I also say digestive system, by the way, is you emphasize the line, that this cue, this slow-moving line of people, that's always going to be the digestive system and elimination system in a dream. Again, no news to you. But when we see 2, what seems like different things connected together, here we have digestion and spiritual purpose and channeling. It's saying work on one, work on the issues with your mum, and you're going to improve both of these things in your life, as well as the issues with your mum. The cashier said, that's $500 for the salmon. So this is paying your karmic debt, if you did. I mean, most people would have said, okay, I'm not going to pay that. But because you're already doing the therapy, you're primed to put in the investment, which is what paying money in a dream represents. You're primed to put in the investment and say, okay, I'm going to pay what it takes for me to get this. I remember looking at their bags of salmon and thinking, wow, that's going to be expensive. I paid for the salmon and left the store. Okay, so we have a tendency to say, okay, I'll deal with my issues, but I certainly hope my partner or my mom or my dad or whoever happens to be doesn't get off scot-free and has to deal with their issues. There's a little tiny bit of that there in your dream. So don't be worried about the price your parents going to have to pay to deal with her issues. That's completely separate. And indeed, there may be no issues there. It may be just she's taken on the agreement to help you by being the way she is. Anyway, let's have a look at another dream. And this is another kind of an old dream. So if it's yours, don't be panicked because it doesn't really fit the way you are now, but it's an interesting dream. When I say old, it's not that old. February 11th. Our dreams very much have a sell-by date, you know. So whatever's going on for us the day of the dream, or at least a couple of days before, that's generally what the dreams are going to be about. And if we've dealt with those things, say for instance we get sick, we're going to have dreams about being ill and dreams about fighting off invaders and so on. Those dreams change and they're no longer really relevant for you to look at. But for the purpose of this show, they are kind of relevant. So let's have a look. I'm walking to meet a friend of mine. I'm wearing her coat. So remember I said earlier, coats are to do with protection. So I'm protecting myself in life as I go through life, or I want to protect myself as I go through life. But that's not my protection. That's not who I am. I'm wearing somebody else's. So the protection I've copied is something from another woman. Again, look at your mom. Even though you say it's a friend of yours, you don't say who the friend is. What are her traits in the dream, in reality, I mean. And you look at those and how do they mirror your mom's and so on. It is a full-length coat, dark in colour. Well, that's a pity. Worst type of coat is full-length because it's totally protecting you. You may as well be in a bubble almost. Dark in colour tells us that I'm doing this out of fears. I notice there is a spot of gum on the lapel. Now, gum is usually pink, so I'm going to assume it's pink. I reach down and pull it off and put it in my mouth. So it's saying you're affected, your communication has been affected by issues with some female to the point where it affects your communication. Did I make sense there? Did I sort of trip myself up in that sentence? I will know when I listen to the replay. I look up to see her and I'm embarrassed she saw I got her coat dirty. So embarrassment is one of the things. So when do you find yourself embarrassed in life? Because that's one of the things that comes from mom. That's what dreams do. They show us the feelings that are connected with the person. And you look then and say, okay, I'm not usually the one who's embarrassed, or it wouldn't be me if I wasn't affected. So I can just let go of this and I can be me. And sometimes letting go is as simple as that. We can let go because we've already done a lot of work in our life, in ourselves, in our life, and it's just the awareness that things coming together, making sense. Anyway, she is standing on the other side of a chain link fence. The chain link fence is to do with okay, this is a karmic thing because of the chain link, but the fence is also a separation. So this affects your heart. I open the gate and walk onto the other side. That's really good. Creating an opening in this fence I have around myself. She's not wearing a coat, so I take off my/her coat and put it on her. Now that's really good. Taking off her coat and giving it back to her. And this could be somebody who's on the other side because of the way you said it. So it could be someone who's passed on. So you've removed the protection that you were walking through life with because of your mom in this dream. And that's why I really like this dream. And I tell her, this should make you feel much happier. Then I wake up. Well, the reality is it's going to make you feel much happier. That's what you're saying in the dream. Everybody's you in the dream. So you're saying to yourself, this is giving up this protection is going to really help you and your feelings of joy and happiness in life. It's a really nice dream. Okay, let's have a look at another one. I was eating dinner with mom at a very fancy restaurant. The table was round and black. The food was reported to be this unusual blending of things like red wine, jello squares infused with cardamom or deep fried fennel on top of goat cheese. Okay, so we know issues with mom. This person's cutting the ties with mom. People tend to tell me when they send in their dreams what they're doing. Please do that also. It's really good because it does change the interpretation. In one case, it's showing you what's happening, what the dream is working on, what it's bringing up effectively to be eliminated. And if you're not cutting the ties, it's telling you what you need to deal with. But they're always a little bit stronger when you're cutting the ties because it's like you're digging into the subconscious and saying, I want to get rid of all the crap that's in here. And it has to come up and find expression to get out. So it's going to show up in your dreams. So we know issues with mom. You're sitting at the table with your mom. It's round and black. So the black tells us, okay, there's something negative with the connection with mom. A round table seems like a good thing. It's like Arthur and the round table. There's no head at the table. But we see later on in your dream, there are several heads at this table. Okay. So mom was obviously the head of the table. The food was reported to be an unusual blend. Okay, so issues with food for this dreamer as well, or issues with the digestive system. And it says here, that the food was infused with cardamom. So we even have mom in your food. Um, so definitely got the connection saying deal with the issues with mom. Let me just check. Actually, this is the same dreamer, so that's not surprising. Deal with the issues with mom because that's going to help you. So same dreamer as the first dream, whatever dream, the grocery store, the salmon one. Okay, cool. So deal with those, and it's going to help your elimination system and so on. So let's speed up since we've already done one of yours. There was a large tray of a variety of food squares. So square is not good in a dream, so it's like limitations connected with this and affecting your food or the flow of food on a tray before us, and the chef was in the center. The table had a hole in the center where he would stand and serve food around the table from the center. So okay, so positive thing in here is because there's a chef in your dream, he has a title, he's a guide, he serves food, at least in this dream he does. So it means you're a healer, you have a hands-on healing ability. And I think we already knew that from other dreams, but still good in the dream. It was obvious that he was getting behind, so the food is moving slowly, so this is your slow elimination system like the cue in the previous dream. As there were about 80 people sitting around this very large table. Now 80 is a lot of people. So what the dreams do, to show us ages and to show us numbers, they put a number of people in here. So 8 could be to do with you at the age 8, but it's also a very good number when you're cutting the ties with your mom, because it's the symbol, it's the core symbol used for cutting the ties, the two circles, you in one circle, your mom in the other circle, or the person you're cutting the ties with in the other circle. So it shows that this is you expanding yourself, and that's what the 8 represents. It's the symbol for infinity also if you hold it on its side, the only balanced number. Anyway, so I started moving some of the squares on the tray in front of me as he was doing them. And that's good. That shows you getting in touch with your healing ability. You're starting to serve the food and drink, which is a common symbol for a healer. You're going to get in trouble, my mother said. She was sitting on my left. So on your left tells you this is something you need to put in the past or are putting in the past, so that's good. But this is telling us this is the way mom would have been. You try to do something you want to do and you get shot down. And the trouble that you're being warned about could be trouble from her. Usually would be when you're a kid. A moment after that, she said that a woman's head, see I told you heads pop up, a woman's head popped up from a hole in the table in front of me. Please allow the chef to do the service, she said. Sorry, you're getting told off. There were other heads around the table popping up at various times to talk to people. So the talking says, okay, communication is affected by mom. So are you kind of shy, even though people maybe wouldn't know you are? That's one thing that's going to improve when you cut the ties with your mom. The fennel and goat cheese arrived and I ate the deep fried fennel. It was crispy and light and very tasty. The table began to move. The chairs were attached, so we were moving as well. It went around slowly in a circle, and then our section of the table was lifted up into the air, and I could see the other end of the table was still down on the ground. So, okay, that's good. That's showing, actually, fennel will give you a lift. I had to look these up. Fennel and cardamom are both are good for your digestive system. Cardamom in particular is it's an Indian spice or a blend of 3 spices, but it helps repair damage to the digestive system as well. And I forget what I found out about fennel, but it's also another positive. So I don't know whether you already knew that, but you're reading it in the dream and you get a lift. So that's really good, especially because the table's still attached to the ground or still connected to the ground. Okay, moving on, since we did one of yours before. Another dream from February 7th, and the dreamer's name is Lorna. Okay, it says, she calls this an unusual dream. The dream starts with a bridge collapsing. My mother was supposed to go on this trip but didn't, saving her incidentally from the mess. Okay, so bridges in dreams represent counselling. They're used to span a gap or to connect two places. So in dreams they connect people. So it's like, it's almost like a fear that reconciliation with mom or any work with trying to repair the issues with mom are going to fail. Doesn't mean it will. But anyway, she didn't go on this thing. So it's like, okay, I extended the olive branch and it wasn't taken up. We were going in a linear direction. The bridge that collapsed was perpendicular to the bridge we were on. I heard comments about how this bridge was not supposed to be overloaded, but it was. Okay. Thus it collapsed. 2 cars with people in it fell to their deaths. We had to go. We had a way to keep on going, and we did cut across. Okay, so this is, okay, the long line of cars says digestive system trouble here for this dreamer too. The overloaded bridge says the pressure you're taking on issues with your mom is quite strong, and the collapse then hopefully is just a fear and it's not anything about you in the past. It's not the same dreamer, in case you're wondering. And it shows you the similarity people of issues people have to deal with. Somebody offered me and showed me a lot of different shoes, but pressed for me to take a beautiful pointy flat ballerina type of shoe that was golden to cross and keep on going. So this is saying shoes have to do with equipping us to move forward in life. So it's saying healing is going to help you move forward, and healing in particular with regard to your elimination system. We have elimination system because of the cars, and then definitely because of what comes up here. I remember looking at the shoes and at the person thinking, are you crazy? Look at this beautiful shoes. I won't go in all that mud with these shoes. But I did, I tried, and they became partly enmeshed in the mud. Then I decided to change the shoes to continue. And that's okay, we can change our approach and how we move forward. But healing is the first thing you need. That's what you need to do. And then you can change and move forward from that. All of a sudden, as I was walking in the mud, I looked up into the distance and a huge wave of mud was coming towards us like a tsunami. So elimination system problems here you can't avoid. You have to be hugely aware of these in your life. We were a group of 3, 1 man and 1 woman were there. We quickly ran the other way as fast as we could. Suddenly I was in an apartment hurrying up to escape, and I'm looking at the time. How long have we left here? All right, I'll sing you a song while he looks it up. We've 1 minute. In an apartment, so I'll speed up. All strangers except for my mom. There's a man and a woman in the dream. The man in the dream I dearly loved. I had a clear perception that he did not love me back. So this is, you're carrying influences from your mom. There are aspects of you that you're not in touch with yet. You don't recognize them. That's what typically it means in a dream when we've got these people that we don't recognize. The man and the woman are aspects of you. And just skipping forward, you talk about pure white, which is to do with confidence. So your confidence is affected by your mom. You have a healing ability. You have a pure white jacket, and you get something that is scarlet red on it from the man. And scarlet is going to be embarrassment. So you're afraid the man doesn't love you. So it's a block and a connection to your male side that is connected with your mom, and that is kind of unusual. And we're going to have to wrap it up there. But thanks for listening. See you next week.